Hello and welcome today. My name is Carrie Gillespie and I spearheaded this spay and neuter clinic here today at my home in Vesper, Wisconsin. We have some kitties here that are coming out of recovery. This clinic really started with me just seeing a need in my neighborhood. I live in a really rural area and I grew up going to my cousin's farm. They have 400 dairy cattle there, and so there's always been cats there, always. And they love the cats as part of the farm, but it can easily get out of control. And I knew from my experience and I knew from other people's experience that feral cats and cats that were unaltered were a problem. And they multiply so crazy. Cats can have 2 litters a year, which is crazy. So I knew there was a need for it. And I thought, I'm really one of those people who there's only so much I want to hear people complain about the problem before I want people to be like, okay, what are we going to do about it? And I kind of heard enough complaining that I was like, well, what are we going to do about it? So I got in touch with a local 501c3 nonprofit called The Fixes In, and I just asked them, I said, if I arranged it all and put out word to my neighbors and around the area that I was fixing cats, would you come and do the surgeries? I told them I can do everything but the surgeries, and they agreed, and I put out word. I had a team that worked with me doing some outreach to the media, doing some social media things, and then I have the place here to do it. We have the shed and the space for them. So that was really what it came down to, is just I saw a need and I knew there was something I could do. I knew there had to be something I could do. I just had to figure it out. And once I figured it out, it was really exciting. And the response has been so overwhelming. This clinic, they can do 60 cats in one day. This clinic filled up within a matter of 2 to 3 days. That's how quickly it went. And we have a waiting list that's 60 long as well. So we have so many people who need and want this service. And we're doing another one in March of 2020 because it's so needed. There were so many people who I had to turn away, which felt bad, but it also made me feel encouraged because I know this is so necessary in our area. So we're looking forward to doing other clinics in the future. We organized this in a way that made sense for us. So I wanted to appeal to as many people as possible, so I wanted to make it flexible for them to bring their cats and then to pick their cats up. So I offered people to, if they needed to drop their cats off yesterday night, I allotted time from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. where people could drop their cats off. I only had 2 people take advantage of that, which is fine. So I had some people drop off last night, but most of them dropped off this morning between 8 a.m. and noon. Those are just times that I picked. You could shorten it if you wanted it, but again, I just wanted to help as many people as I could, and I knew expanding that time frame of pickup would be helpful. So around 8 a.m. people started getting here. It's also around the time that The Fixes In pulled into my driveway. Their unit is a complete MASH unit, so they are completely they have a generator, it's completely self-run. There's nothing that they really need from me in the unit. They just needed space to put the cats before they went into surgery. So we had people at a check-in table checking in people. There was paperwork that people have to sign. We need their phone number and their address, and they need to sign just a waiver for The Fixes In that says that they have permission to operate on their cat. And then after that, we put their cats together. We put their cats in these carriers. We try and separate them as much as we can. And after that, they all got pre-surgical exams. The Fixes In, once again, they do all that stuff. Anything vet related, I let them do. So there is coordination with them in terms of what they're gonna do and what I can do. I can facilitate, but any of the vet work they really need to do. So there's a lot of coordination with them. So they get these pre-surgical evaluations, and then after that, they start slowly taking them in to be operated on. Now today we had some students and we had some other volunteers. We had students from Pittsville High School and Pittsville FFA join us today, and it was really great. But right when they got here early in the morning, they got here right around 8, they went through and we told them about the event. We explained to them why we were doing it. We explained to them the cat ecosystem and the ecosystem that cats, the part in the ecosystem they play on the farm. And we explained, how the health of them being healthy, the healthiest cats are fixed, and they also have some shots as well. So by doing that to these cats, we're really setting a firm ground for the ecosystem of the rest of the cats there. So they got a brief rundown of all that, and then they went to helping. We had some of them checking in at the desk. We had some of them helping just monitor while they do pre-surgical evaluations. And then we also had some in there, and still have some in there, doing some wrapping of the utensils. There's a lot of sterilization needed to use the utensils to make sure they're clean. And so kids are in there helping with that and wrapping as well. So they're really getting the full spectrum. The Fixes In also, told them all about the process of that goes down. They give them a very long talk through everything so that they completely understood it. We wanted this to be a learning experience for the kids. It's an educational thing for them, but also for other people who maybe don't see the need to neuter their cats or fix their cats. Why does it matter? Why does it matter? It does matter. It starts with education, and any bit of education you can do, whether it's with kids or whether it's with the people who are bringing their animals in, that is key. We're providing a service here, but it's education. We need them to know that this is for the betterment of the cats, which also will improve their farm ecosystem. And it's also, there's options. You don't have to pay $300 to go to the vet. There are low-cost options, and that's what this is here. And that's really something that we wanted to provide. Education that there was options, and education that this is something that's worth their time and effort for their farm. So for anyone trying to recreate something like this, first of all, I want to tell you it's completely doable. It is completely possible. I would recommend that you have a team. I had a team that helped me. This was kind of my brainchild, but I had so much support. I had a friend that helped me. I had my mom help me. And then I also had the help of the Marshfield Area Pet Shelter, so a local shelter. They donated, or not donated, but they let me borrow like 30 carriers because I obviously didn't have 30 carriers. So they 100% wanted to be on board. They let me borrow carriers. They donated food. They let me borrow litter. They let me use a bunch of blankets. You're gonna need blankets and towels to keep these cats warm. So they provided so many resources that I didn't even know I would need, but because I don't rescue cats, on a daily basis, but they do, so they knew. So one of my big suggestions is reach out to a shelter and ask them to, even if they can't partner or help or anything like that, ask them for advice, ask them for tips of how to go about this. So having the shelter has been a huge, huge bonus. The other part was, of course, the FFA and really integrating the kids into this and making this something that they can integrate into what they're doing with the Future Farmers of America from that standpoint. I would also recommend too, so this isn't done for free. Today it's done for free, but the service that the Fix is in is providing, they're a nonprofit, but they have to pay for this to be done somehow. So I decided to go out and raise money for this. I wanted to make it free. I wanted it to be available to as many people as possible. And the only way that I knew to do that was to go out and seek corporate sponsors. So we went to a couple corporate sponsors that really aligned with our message. We reached out to some farming like credit unions that specifically work with farmers. A lot of their clients are farmers, some insurance agencies that they've specifically worked with farmers. And then also like a feed place. They sell feed to a lot of the farmers. We reached out to those big corporations because we knew that this was in line with their clientele that they work with. And a lot of them were really receptive and really willing to play a part in it. So we were able to get this fully covered. So they can do 60 cats in one day, and today we had 58. We had 2 that weren't able to make it, but to cover them for each cat, it's $40 for the community cat. So that's $40 gets them the sterilization, the ear tip, and then it also gets them a rabies vaccination. So all of that for $40, it's not bad. So for 60 cats, it's $2,400 is the total. You don't have to completely make it free if you wanted to make it reduced. So if you charged people $10 or half of that, if you charged people $10, it still is such a good deal. If you charge them 10 or 20, it's really up to you what you want to do. But I just knew that I needed to make it as accessible as possible. And for me, I knew I could get them. If you think you can get the money from someone, then try and get the money because that really makes it a community effort. If you're struggling with that, then just try and raise what you can and make it reduced. Either way, you're helping people big time. So don't narrow yourself down. You go out and try and get the money. I guarantee if you target the right people, you can get some money, if not all of it. But if you can't do that, just do what you can. People will appreciate anything you do. I just wanted to take a final moment and thank our sponsors for today. Nelson Jameson Incorporated sponsored all of the spay and neuters today, which is incredible. We also had the FFA, who was a sponsor with their time and their effort here, and the Marshfield Area Pet Shelter, who did a ton of in-kind donations, and they're also here giving their time. So we want to give them love, and we appreciate everything that they did. We also want to thank Jerry and Marianne Lippert, who sponsored the lunch for everyone, which was so great to have food for everyone to keep going. We also just want to let you know that this is so possible to do, and it's not as daunting as it looks. It's been a journey, and there's been ups and downs, of course, but today has made it all worth it. And if I can do it, I know you can do it. It's not as hard as it looks. It's not as hard as it seems. And the effect that you're having is insane. You know what I mean? It's just like you are having such an effect on your neighborhood, on the animals around you. on everything around you. You're doing such a good thing by stopping this over-reproduction and helping, pets that would otherwise be homeless or die. So you're doing such a great thing, and it is so worth it. So you can do it. If you need any help or guidance, please feel free to reach out to me. You can find me on Facebook, Carrie Gillespie. You can reach out to me there. I have a public page there. You can message me, and I post a lot of my stuff what I'm doing. A lot of information from this clinic will be on my Facebook page, and then you can also email me Carrie or CLIPPERT13@gmail.com. That's my personal email, and you can reach out, and I will provide any guidance I can in this endeavor that you're about to take on. I know you can do it. Follow me on the social.
Right?
Yes.